10 minutes past 8 this morning, I want to talk to you next about this Cyrus Christie story that the Daily Mail have here, the two-page spread. When you're sent an image of 4 black people hanging from a tree and nothing gets done, how do you feel? This is an interview with Ian Ladyman. I just want to read you the first couple of paragraphs in this because it's very interesting, particularly relevant. When Cyrus Christie became a target for racist abuse while playing for the Republic of Ireland, he went to see the Gardaí. They seemed like they'd be great and gave me a number to call if I needed them, Christie told Sportsmail. A while later, I called it and it didn't even work. We never heard from them again. It's then that you realise there really is no point. Ireland were beaten 5-1 by Denmark, and in the aftermath of that, Cyrus Christie was targeted by racists online. There was a picture of, as he says, 4 black people hanging from a tree, and then the line was, "You're next," was beside it. It's clear as daylight, some of the stuff. I had one guy send me the 4 black people hanging from a tree with "You're next," saying that they're going to kill me, and there's a picture and names there, but if I was to put out everything I got, people would be surprised. You say the odd thing now and then, I'll bring up the odd one and people are like, rise above it, why are you giving them airtime? I'm trying to put it out there and to show this is what goes on. I had a thing of 15 posts on Instagram and 5 comments minimum were racist. 15 posts straight. I'm posting once a week on average, so that's a couple of months. And then he goes on, and so that was actually from a podcast a couple of months ago. I just was getting the details of when it was. And when there was a petition calling for you to be lynched, how do you feel? If it was the other way around, we know how quick it would be sorted. That's the issue. So he's just saying that no one cares about racism enough. That not enough is done about it. And that he talks about Gary Neville and Raheem Sterling, and when they raise the issue, people take it seriously because they have profile. But if Cyrus Christie is raising the issue, it's not big enough because he's not famous enough. There's no celebrity heft behind it in some ways. So
it's horrific. Like the whole thing about don't sink to their level is just a ridiculous notion when it comes to racism. Like, it's something that you might say is an acceptable thing to say when somebody's getting trolled or getting mild abuse online, but this is a whole new level. Like, this is, and
well, it exists in the real world,
yeah.
like, and it has real world repercussions. Is the thing. He talks about growing up in Coventry and Coventry gang culture, and how when he was 14, himself and a friend were assaulted in school, and then there was retribution sought the next day, and they called in for him, but he wasn't allowed to go because he had homework to do. And one of his mates who called in for him ended up getting stabbed 16 or 17 times, and it was like, so now he's trying to give back, and he's got a partnership going with the Bournemouth striker Callum Wilson. They've set up an academy to try and help kids in the area just become better people. And Fulham seem like they're quite progressive. So obviously his sister was racially abused at a Fulham game, and they took a case, but the case was dropped. And now Fulham are taking a civil case and helping them to take a civil case. So the whole notion here is that we're very good in Ireland going, oh, that's an English problem. It's not an English problem, it's an Irish problem.
The number doesn't even work.
So just to follow up on that story, obviously we've contacted the Gardaí this morning, and we've asked them if they've got a comment to make on the suggestion that he was provided with a phone number that didn't work or a connect, and have the Gardaí followed up and contacted him again following the issue being raised, and we've asked them as well if they want to make any comment about his suggestion that the Irish police force are ineffectual when it comes to assisting those who've been the victim of racial abuse. So we'll see if the Garda Press Office has anything to say about this story this morning, but pretty grim reading. But fair play to Cyrus Christie for coming out and reminding us all that, like, this is him playing for Ireland. This is him playing for our country that gets him this abuse, which is completely unacceptable.
We seem to be always living in a world where we're 2 steps away from racial abuse because we view everything through an English prism, and then the English prism is always telling us that this isn't something that exists in England, it only exists in Eastern Europe. When, now granted it does, when they go to somewhere like Bulgaria and get the abuse that they get, it does exist, but it seems that even the British media are kind of keeping this problem at arm's length, and if they're doing that, then we feel we're 2 steps away from that. So like that's a really worrying sign, that if there is a serious racial threat made, that the help actually isn't there for somebody to make a complaint.
Yeah, so that's grim but important reading this morning, and we'll obviously follow that story with the Gardaí as things go on. Champions League?